How's it hanging? My name is Sean, and welcome to a brand new gaming podcast that doesn't even have a name. For those of you who know me, you will know that my channel has gone through so many changes, and I often do lore and speculation videos for whichever game I have been excited for at that time. So usually I'm pretty focused and consistent when I get into whatever game. But let's be honest here, we all love more than just one or two games. We watch more than just one or two gamers, and that is what this nameless podcast is for. Together we will all, with the guest and you, we will all come together, be positive, have some fun about games, ask some questions, and just hang out, talk, and get to know each other. So here we are. We have truly a national treasure with us today. Beloved by many and cherished by all. In my opinion, she is the most influential female gamer of all time. She has provided us with countless hours of pure escapism and immersion within games, which is so hard to come by anymore. A saint in her own right. I'm talking no other than Shirley Curry from the Grandma of Gaming YouTube channel. She's here.
Oh, hi, how are you?
I am wonderful. This is going to be so much fun.
Okay, what are you going to have for me today?
Well, just want to have a general conversation. Ask some questions. We got some fan comments, some fan questions coming up soon. We got a fun game to play. Got a whole bunch of stuff in store, and yeah, let's just have some fun.
Great.
All right, so I guess let's just go ahead and break the ice. The number one question on everybody's mind is, what is your take on the Paul brothers, Jake and Logan Paul?
Oh my God. I think they're, I don't even know why they're kept on YouTube. I wouldn't watch that crap if they paid me.
I hear you. I completely agree. I completely agree.
I don't understand why anybody would put anything on there that started that big controversy in the first place. I think that was awful.
With the you're talking about the suicide forest.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Well, then with his brother Jake, we had a big content creator, Shane Dawson, who pretty much saves failing YouTube channels. He went over to his brother Jake, who is just another pompous idiot, and pretty much showed the world that hey, he's just a kid who made a few bad decisions, and then immediately after he's making more bad decisions. So,
yeah.
These kids, Yeah.
No, I just let that go by the wayside. I just sort of gape at the screen and think, oh my God, and then go on to something else.
Yeah, if only more people could. All right. So I guess, what really inspired you to start your YouTube channel, I guess before your success, because nobody ever goes into YouTube thinking that there's going to be, a huge successful channel in their midst. So what gave you the inspiration to start?
Well, I wanted a channel so that I could watch some other gamers. And because my son had shown me a couple of gamers, and I watched them, and I thought that was so cool. So he set me up a YouTube channel, and I only used it to go watch other gamers. So when I started recording, I had my channel for a while. And the reason I started recording was because I had accumulated a few subscribers to my channel just because I commented on other gamers, and so they started subscribing to my channel. Just I don't know why, and then they started asking me if I would record my own games. So I finally got up the nerve to do so.
I have a theory as why they might have started subscribing. I think it's because you're so genuine. I can foresee now that any of those old videos that you have been commenting on, I guarantee you it's genuine. It's genuine happiness about whatever game you're talking about. I can guarantee you that.
It was. I never put down anybody. I mean, I thought if you didn't like something, then you just kept your mouth shut.
Right. Well, and then you see this wonderful sweet lady talking about Skyrim in a comment section where there's normally 12-year-old kids, and you're like, I gotta check that out, right?
Yeah,
it's intriguing to say the least. All right, well.
Well, when I first started recording, they didn't think it was so funny. A lot of them.
Well, would you get like some flack or something?
Oh yeah.
Really? What kind?
Oh, they told me, they would say things like, "What's an old lady like you doing on here? And why don't you get off of here? You don't belong here. And why aren't you sitting in a rocking chair knitting?" And stuff like that. The thing, none of it bothered me except the part about, why don't you get off of here because you don't belong here? And this is what cranked me. You don't belong here? Gaming's for anybody that likes to play games,
Exactly.
you know?
Exactly.
But all the young people thought that YouTube gaming was just for them. And I think most of them have changed their mind.
Well, they would have to. It's as closed-minded. You can look at any one of your videos, and the like to dislike ratio is non-existent. You know, there's, you know what, maybe 1 or 2 dislikers out of a 500,000 subscriber channel base. That's insane. That is like engagement.
Well, and see, the other thing is, when I first started recording, I would get those awful comments like they put on other gamers' channels with lots of cuss words or nasty innuendos and stuff like that, that I have read all over YouTube. And I put a stop to it because I put my rules on there. I would talk to them. I would actually talk to them like a grandma would and tell them that I didn't like that and that was disrespectful, and that they should learn better manners, or that evidently their parents hadn't taught them anything and stuff like that, until they finally stopped. And some of them, I would say, if you keep on posting this kind of stuff, then I'm going to just ban you from the channel, which I did several times. But I've actually had 2 or 3 come back and comment and apologize. So I thought that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, because I was going to have a question about that, and there's also a question in some of your fan questions was if you ever had, you know, haters or trolls or anything like that. So it's kind of cool that we addressed that early, because I could definitely see how because there is a certain amount of toxicity in any platform, and I can definitely see how just the pure genuine engagement that you have, like you're striving to just have a good community, and it kind of, I guess it kind of just
yeah,
for the better.
I guess they respected me enough that they quit trying that stuff. But you know, I'd go watch other YouTubers, and the comments to them would be so awful, and I think, why do people have to talk like that to one another? And there was one guy that I used to watch because I really liked him, but his comment section was nothing but nastiness all the time. So I quit watching him.
Yeah.
Because if he draws that kind of people, then what does that say about him and his channel?
Yeah, I've learned a long time ago, whenever you get people like that, you either, you know, I used to have struggled with this thing where I didn't want to delete comments off my channel just because I wanted to be like, well, I don't want to be the guy who's like, oh, I'm afraid of criticism, or I'm afraid of this, or being told that I'm wrong about this, or maybe I should be a little bit better, and I'm just trying to hide that from myself. When in reality, there is a lot of just pure nastiness, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't care. I don't care if they tell me that they don't like something. That's their prerogative, you know?
yeah.
But I won't put up with nasty, especially to one another in the comments. I don't care what they say to me, but when they start arguing back and forth and it just escalates to meaner and meaner, then that's when I step in and end it.
Yeah, no, and that's one of the most appealing things about your channel is that, again, that pure escapism. It's hard to really put that into words, that how much of that your channel actually provides, from the lack of editing, which immerses you, to your own commentary being just as genuine as you possibly are, to your comment section being nothing but wholesome, and for the most part, that's wholesome by itself, you know, only tailored on in like the early times. So that's so amazing, and it's so rare to come by. Just so
I've had parents comment in my videos and tell me that they appreciate that I keep it clean, and that they came to check it out because their child told them what they was watching. And so, not too many parents, I don't think, care what their child is watching. But they came and checked it out and said that they approve of my channel for their kid to watch.
Yeah, and it does. I mean, because kids will go out and they'll try to watch the most outlandish things, you know. Just kids being curious. But there are so many times where I do feel like it is a lot of times on parents to police their kids to a certain extent, you know. Like, you wouldn't let your kid drink 20 sodas in a day. Why would you let them play 20 hours of a video game in a day? You know?
Yeah.
And there's, you know, and it's just hard to put that type of appreciation for what your channel brings. Even not even if it's not even kids, you know, just me, a 20-year-old nobody who just wants to watch it just because it's so invigorating, just for the immersion. You know, you go in, you know, this sweet lady right here is going to be playing as if she was actually in the game, and nowhere do you ever get that. Like, you can have some of the best, you name any Skyrim person, any Fallout person, any RPG in The Witcher 3, any game out there, and you're going to watch the top person within that particular subject, and it's going to be a highly, and myself included, I don't have a big sub base, but I am myself is lumped into this category of a highly edited intro, highly edited outro, highly edited within the middle, concise scripted commentary, all, and a lot of times the thumbnail and the subject of the video was decided before the video was ever even started, you know, and it's. And don't sometimes it's entertaining and interesting, and sometimes if you're trying to look up a certain thing in a game, I can understand why somebody would want to have a concise, entertaining video to get that point across. But your thing is a very special thing in and of itself.
Well, see, I like to tell stories. I'm a frustrated author.
Really?
And I like to tell stories, and I don't like to go into a game and just play the game the way the developers present the game. I mean, they've already got a story going in there. I don't want to play that story. I want to play my story. Right. So that's why I can't play hardly any other game, because they already have their built-in story. Like Witcher 3. I know that's a beautiful game, and everybody wants me to play it, but I'm not going to, because I can't tell a story in there.
Right. It's hard to go out on your own. Same way with like Dragon Age. It's so concise.
Yeah.
Not that the story itself is not a good story or it's not fun to play. It's just if you're one of those people who want to just literally just, you know, whether it's Oblivion, Skyrim, or even Fallout 3, for example, you could do it in like Fallout. If you just wanted to just start the game and just start walking, and wherever you want to go is where you end up. If you end up in a town and make a friend there, well, you have a 30-minute video about how you went to a town and made a friend there. So it's, yeah, I think it's awesome. But I don't play
Fallout because I think it's ugly. I don't like all the press look. Right?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, because of all the press.
There's nothing but distraction. I don't want to play in that.
I hear you. And we kind of talked about that, you know, before on an email beforehand. And for anybody who might ask fan questions, if that was asked or if anything like that had be brought up in the comments or something like that, Shirley said that she just doesn't subscribe to any of that nonsense, you know? I mean, if you don't like the game, don't buy it. So, yeah, and what the thing is with Fallout and Bethesda is just, you know, a lot of people give them a lot of bad press, and you could say that it's justified or it's not. But the thing is just once you get so big as a company and you have parent companies and subsidiaries and you have all this... it becomes more of a corporation than it is about making a game. And while you have certain people like Todd Howard who are still holding on to that let's make a good game, there's so much corporate stuff in there that these types of things are bound to happen, you know.
Yeah.
Whether they're like, oh, we didn't get as much money on our microtransactions for this month, so the canvas bag has to be nylon bag, you know, and then all of a sudden,
yeah,
make a video, you know? It's like, oh, Jesus. No,
they really got up in the air over that stupid canvas bag.
I'm telling you. I mean, you're buying it's the same thing. It's the reason why, like, with Bethesda, there's, like, two different fan bases. There is literally the Fallout fan base, and then there's, like, the Skyrim fan base. And it's almost like yin and yang. Because if you look at all of any Fallout creator, except for maybe Oxhorn and a couple other ones, of course, they've gotten in their own things in the past that has to do with them. But, you know, you look at all these, there's very few out there who are wholesome and want to just, you know, make the game better. They're so quick to jump on, you know, all the nice little things that I don't know. I think it's just because Fallout originated from a completely different company, and it's, you know, a lot of people have an idea of what they need this certain game to be, but Skyrim and Elder Scrolls is just so totally opposite. It's just everybody is so, you know what I think it is? I think people don't complain about Elder Scrolls as much as it is because they're still lost in the world. There's still so much to look at. You know, they're still reading.
Oh yeah.
How could you complain when you're you know, still trying to find a way to invent the new potion that you have? It's just,
yeah.
How old is that game? But I don't know, with Fallout, I just think that, I don't know, I just feel like it's a certain amount of clickbait, you know.
Yeah, and see, with like when Fallout 76 came out and everybody has been complaining about it. I don't understand that because I don't play the game to begin with. So I don't know what parts of it they're so disappointed in. Right. But now if a episode of Skyrim came out that was an extension of it, and I guess there are some mods that are, but I haven't played them, I would want it to be just like Skyrim or better. So I don't know what's wrong with Fallout 76. I thought it was supposed to be something better, but they act like it's not.
Well, I think the thing is with that is just like they went into Fallout 76 and it was going to be an online thing, which is going to be just like a a lot of times people have like developers will make like a segue game into their next big title, which I think would be like Starfield for Bethesda. And I think that's what Fallout 76 was. It was just like a layover title to get them to their next game to generate some cash. But where it failed as opposed to Elder Scrolls Online is that Elder Scrolls has a huge universe, like a huge, you know, Tamriel is just so big. And then you have Akavir. You have all these different locations that you could potentially make hundreds of games about. Huge games, right?
Yeah.
Now with Fallout, you have the United States, and then you have maps that are secluded into certain little bitty areas. So to take a MMORPG or just any online RPG with the Fallout, I think it was kind of doomed to fail because they weren't going to have NPCs and a lot of stuff like that. And Fallout is a very story based game, or make your own type of story. And if you don't have nobody to talk to, you know, I can definitely see how people can kind of get I guess kerfluffled about it, but again, it's just like playing. But at the same time, you know, at the same time, I can see like if the next Elder Scrolls came out and the graphics was a Morrowind graphics, which it wouldn't be, but I could see if it was that way, or you know, they cut out a lot of stuff that you would, like for example, they took the Thalmor was a huge plot point in Skyrim, and then the next game, the Thalmor is just not heard of. I can kind of see how people, you know. But at the same time, it's just like, do you want them to make the game better, or do you just want to keep hating on them to hate?
Right. One of the other things I thought might have been disappointing to people, it certainly was to me, was the fact that it was an online only. Well, see, I had kind of been looking forward to that one and thought that I might try it just because it was based in West Virginia. Yeah. And I live in Virginia, and I thought, oh, that's going to look cool. Right. Yeah. And it wasn't going to just be total destruction. But then they made it's an online game only. And I thought, well, phooey on that. So I haven't even thought about getting it and playing it and don't want to.
No, you know, and it could be like, that's what I'm saying is like a lot of people, I could see why they're so frustrated is because a lot of people could have went into that thinking kind of like you did. Like, well, you know, I love Fallout for the first person role-playing RPG experience, and even though it's online, I'll just find a server where it's empty and I'll just play Fallout with the NPCs like a story. And but that wasn't the case because there's no NPCs, and you know, it's just but again, you know, I'm sure Bethesda will pick up their pieces because upwards up until these last few missteps, they were still the gold standard as far as developers go. And you know, I think with Starfield and the next Elder Scrolls, I think that they will. I think they'll come back. Of course, their creation engine is a little outdated, but that's a totally different story.
I'm not going to be interested in Starfield at all, but I thought one of the reasons that was taking so long for ES06 to come out was because they was waiting for a new upgraded engine. That's what I had thought. I thought that was what I read once, long time back.
Now, Todd Howard, and I might be able to send you the article. Todd Howard is on record stating that Starfield and the next Elder Scrolls will be exclusively developed on the Creation Engine, but the Creation Engine is supposedly supposed to be being revamped and brought into modern day.
Oh, good.
It's what it's supposed to be, but everybody's always like, "Well, Todd Howard lies," and it's just like, "Oh, here we go."
Oh,
You know what I mean? Here we go.
People just like to gripe and bitch.
It's like eventually they're going to have so many mistakes. There's going to be so many people hating on them needlessly that they're not going to be able to make mistakes. So you know what I mean? Eventually,
Yeah.
what people think is going to be a mistake, they're going to come out with something that's going to destroy your brain with awesomeness.
Good. I'm waiting for that. I hope I'm still alive then.
I hope so, but I'm biased. I like Bethesda.
Me too. Me too.
Let's see. Oh, I guess I should ask. Out of all games that you could have played, RPG wise, whether it had been Oblivion, Skyrim, or a different brand, why was Skyrim decided to be your flagship game?
Well, that's another game that my son introduced to me because he sent me a link to someone who was playing it and he thought I would like it. And I did. I fell in love with it. This person was playing it sort of as a role play also. I mean, he'd talk to his follower and stuff, and he was always looking back saying, "Where are you at, Lydia? Come on, Lydia."
Yeah.
And I thought, that is so cool. I can do that. And so that's why I started playing it. And the more I played it, the more I loved it. And like I said, I'm a frustrated author, so I love telling stories in it.
That's great. That's awesome.
I already have 3 stories in my head that I'm going to tell eventually.
What, like game Skyrim-based stories, or just stories in general?
A Skyrim.
All right, like a video. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Well, I mean, that's pretty much just a basic, a basic icebreaker, I guess, just to get all my fans introduced to you and who you are and why you do what you do. So I guess we're just gonna have we have a laundry list of basic questions.
Okay.
And it's they're not nothing special or anything like that. They're just conversation pieces. So simple things like, what province of Cyrodiil do you think or hope the Elder Scrolls 6 will take place in? Some people have asked that in your questions too. So
actually, I haven't paid that much attention to the lore, but I did visit Elsewhere once in that mod. I had that mod to go there, and I had been kind of looking forward to that place just because I love Khajiits.
right.
And now they're making a mod to play there, and I'm going to get that one. But as far as where number 6 would go, I don't care, just so the land isn't too harsh or empty. I want it to be similar to Skyrim.
So not Hammerfell.
I don't know what.
Hammerfell is just a mountain in a desert.
No, then not there. I wouldn't play that one.
Yeah, it's I think because there was I think one of the first Elder Scrolls games was based in Hammerfell, and it was a tile click based game, and I think, yeah, well, I mean it was Civ 2 days, but I think it took like 6,000 clicks to get to the first dungeon, and what it was it was like a square on the map of desert with a little rock in the middle, and there's a little inside that square there's a little bitty wall that was that you could go through. So if you was coming from the left hand of the screen, you would have to take an extra 20 clicks just to get all the way around that barrier to get to the open end, to take another 10 clicks to get into, and it was like an hour-long process to get to a dungeon.
Oh my God.
But that map, that Hammerfell map, was still one of the largest maps ever created for Elder Scrolls. I think it's like 2,600 square miles or something, if it was the game map was to be, in real life.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. But
I wish Skyrim was that big.
Oh my goodness, could you imagine?
I would have so much fun.
I wish they would do something like that. They should have just like get technology to a point where you just have, okay, we're going to make one base game, whether that, it'd be Cyrodiil, and we're going to start with Cyrodiil, and then no matter what, there's just going to be expansions and DLCs, and we're just going to create one new country that you're just going to be able to walk into. That would be so awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, it'd probably take forever.
But see, with these mods, you can walk through different gates, I guess, out of the edge of your Skyrim map into whichever one you're going to.
Like the
right?
mod. Have you seen the
mod?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
They have worked so hard on that. That's crazy to be able to walk from Skyrim into Bruma and see the Imperial City like just off in the distance. That's crazy.
Yeah. I haven't done any of these yet.
Oh, if you ever do, I would watch that multiple times.
I want to do the one for Elsewhere.
Oh, I bet. Yes, Elsewhere would be nice. Elsewhere would be nice. Just because of they have like there's different kinds of Khajiit.
Yes, and I want to see some of them.
Oh my goodness! Like even the Khajiit that you can ride for transportation, they're intelligent like regular Khajiit. They're like on the same level. It's not like they're a steed. You know what I mean? Like you have to. They're intelligent. And you know what I mean? Like they have their own personality, and they'll tell you the way they feel. And oh, that would be so awesome. And then the little bitty Khajiits. Oh,
I wish Skyrim had children Khajiits, because they put the Khajiits in the game, so we should be able to have children.
Right. Yes, especially because they have like the house DLC. You build your own house.
Yeah.
Children there, and if you happen to be a Khajiit, you have to have a human child.
Yeah.
You talk about breaking immersion.
Right.
Thank goodness, I'm all about for inclusivity, but I don't think fur and skin mix there. Oh goodness.
I've never done any of my games in Skyrim with that mod. With that DLC where I could have children. I can't stand them kids.
Oh, not the kids. I'm talking about like the house, building the house.
Oh, I've built the house before, but it was, I think, Cadiment, my first series. I think he built the house.
Okay. Oh yeah. I remember Cadiment. That was the Khajiit.
That's the longest series I've done, because I think that was over 300 videos.
Yes.
And I think he built a house.
That is when you skyrocket.
But the kids, I never will adopt those children in Skyrim, because I want to slap every one of them in the face.
Or if you have those children in one of those houses that stay there, like, and bad guys come around, of course the children can't die, but they don't not try to get away from them either.
No, they don't.
It's like a giant is just like slapping this kid like 100 miles into the sky. Oh, goodness. I love it. Even little missteps like that is the reason why I love that game. All right, so there's kind of like a little bit more of a serious question, but I do feel like I want to ask it. So once you one time, not that long ago, really, I think it was a month or two ago, you commented that on your own video, or maybe somebody else's video, that due to how long the Elder Scrolls 6 will take to come out, that you may have to hang your gaming hat due to age. Do you still feel this way, or have you found newfound optimism?
I am always optimistic. I can't stand negative people around me, and so I really am sure that I'll still be gaming. It's just that when they talk about it being so long till it comes out, I think, grief. By the time that comes out, I'll be getting close to 90 years old, and I can't see a 90-year-old woman playing Skyrim. I can't see her being capable of it. But maybe I will.
Capable is a different... Capable, maybe, but cause I never thought I would see an 80-year-old woman playing Skyrim, so A 90 is not too far fetched for me. But yes, that's one thing is like dexterity, and I ain't talking about dexterity in a game. I'm talking about like actual dexterity.
Right.
Just being able to have those, because and as games get on, they're going to be more intensive. You're going to have to be able to it's going to take more motor functions and more eye hand coordination or eye.
I'm sure.
So I don't know. I just feel like if there's a way to play passively, or at the very least, I think your fan base would understand anyways if you're just playing a little bit slower or something like that. or even if like you did bring some editing at that point, just to kind of cut out some of the times where you have to take.
I doubt if I ever will do that. I don't want to learn it.
Well, no, I would. You know me now, Shirley. So I would never have you do that. I would always edit for you, free of charge.
But as far as my age, I don't expect I'm going to be dying before then unless I go out and get hit by a car or something, because I'm healthy.
Right.
And I'm mobile. I don't use a walker or a cane or a wheelchair or anything like that. And in fact, I walk faster than most people my age. They're always wanting me to slow down. But so I don't anticipate that. My oldest sister is going to be 93 or 94 in February. And all my family lived until almost 90. My dad was over 90. So I expect to live a long life. It's just that, like, you get arthritis in your fingers, and I'm going to have to give up quilting because I hand quilt and it hurts my hands.
Yeah.
So typing on a keyboard will probably get slower, but I don't think it's going to be too bad.
There's
I
also
really
things
don't.
like the push to talk type they have now. You can just speak into your microphone, it types it for you. Sometimes I even do that with my Google phone just because it's so convenient. You hit the button and just like call whoever. Like as technology goes on, things get so much easier. So I'm sure you'll find a way to manage. Plus,
maybe so, yeah.
Plus, like you say, you're always optimistic. So you heard it here first. She ain't planning to give up anytime soon.
Nah.
And if she's willing up to it, Elder Scrolls 6 will be on that channel.
Yep.
All right. So that's
unless they make it multiplayer.
Yeah.
I gave up trying to play on Elder Scrolls Online because I tried it. I honestly tried it. But I can't tell a story with all them people running around and running through me. That's too distracting.
Yeah.
I can't get...
And the battling is like a turn-based strategy battling.
Yeah, I just don't like it.
I feel you. It is cool to just get in there and just kind of see the other areas, like Black Marsh and stuff like that. It's kind of cool to just explore and look around. But
it's beautiful.
Even then,
it's a beautiful.
If they was to make Black Marsh an actual game, it would be even way more intensely decorated than what it is in the online. So I just always think that online are just kind of always watered down, just because there's so much there, and they have to, MMORPG. Look at the size of Tamriel, and they're going to make it the entire game. I can understand.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, procedurally generated content. Let's go ahead and get this continent made.
But they are pretty. I mean, when I went online, the country there was pretty, but too many people.
So, I didn't know this until I did some research, but you're a Guinness World Record holder. You're a Guinness World Record holder. Did you find it easy to start playing complex games considering the advanced motor functions that they require, and then just because of your age and getting this Guinness World Record holder, do you feel like the need to keep that record?
I doubt if I'll keep that record very long at all, because there are older people playing and recording, and they're on YouTube. People just don't know it. They've commented to me. People just don't know it because they don't use their picture. They don't talk about their age. Their name on YouTube is some stupid bunch of letters or something that don't make sense. And I asked them why. Because I used my picture and I used my name because I thought if I'm going to do this, I want people to know me.
Right.
Because I want to be able to talk to them and know them.
Right. Like
and they tell me, well, the reason that they don't let themselves be known is for the very things that happened when I started. They don't want to get them kind of comments that I got. Well, that's silly. It's just a game. It's just a comment section. And who cares?
Well, and we're talking the age of the people we're talking about. Just for those of people listening, it's kind of crazy to me that anybody from that generation would even think that way, because we're talking about the world's greatest generation and the baby boomers. For those of who don't understand the age range we're talking about, we're talking about people who stormed Normandy and people who literally built the foundation of America, and these are people who are afraid of a nasty comment.
Yeah,
that's crazy to me. That is crazy.
So if they would all come out of the age closet, then there wouldn't have been all that controversy on there when I started playing.
I'm telling you, that's crazy to think that somebody would run head on into machine gun fire, but they're afraid to post their picture on it. Oh goodness. Oh well, bless their hearts for running into that machine gun fire anyway.
But I get a lot of comments though now from all of the older gamers saying that I have been an inspiration to them and they're going to start playing again and stuff like that, because they had felt kind of silly that they was still playing games at their age.
Well, that's one of the best things about doing podcasts and stuff like this, and long-winded conversations, is you get to know people and you can destigmatize that kind of stuff.
Right.
We can sit here and talk to you, and we can talk to you about the histories and Black Marsh, and we can talk to you about the deserts of Hammerfell, and we can all just geek out together as geeks about games, and it doesn't matter if you're 20, 50, or 100.
Exactly.
It shouldn't matter anyway, in my opinion.
Right. All
right. So I guess one more serious question here. I think it's the last one. Last serious question. But since we're in that area, as healthy as you are, no one lives forever. What are your plans for your channel after the inevitable, of which we all face?
I have thought about that, and I've talked to my son about it. And I asked him if, when I die, I don't want my channel. I don't want the subscribers to wonder what in the heck happened to me. Where did I go?
Right.
I want him to get on my channel and make a big comment at the top and explain whatever it was happens and so on. I guess my channel will still be on YouTube and people can still go and watch all the old videos.
Well, yes, always. You'll be immortalized for sure on YouTube.
But I would want him to go on and let everyone know what happened.
Yeah,
on my YouTube and on my Twitter, both.
For sure. That's a good thing you said that, because the last thing you want is some person reading some obituary and next thing you know, Keemstar is talking about it. The last thing
that makes me think of something funny.
What's that?
When I first started recording, there is an elderly woman named Shirley Curry, and she had passed away, and her death certificate or an article from the newspaper about her death and her picture. You can find it if you search YouTube or if you search in your browser.
Okay.
And when I first started recording, some guy got on there and said, I can prove that she's a fake, and gave a link to that. I said, that's not me. That's not even my picture at all. And another guy got on there and said, I can prove this is a fake because I work in the industry and I know for a fact. I love it when they say they know something for a fact. He said, I know for a fact that she's using a voice synthesizer and that she's just a kid using a voice synthesizer. And I thought, oh my God.
So I record yourself on your videos, though.
I saved that comment with his name. And when I was waiting for my first video interview to come out, and because I couldn't do anything until then because I'd made them a promise.
Right.
So when it came out and was posted and was out in the public, I sent him that link. And I said, do you feel like a stupid idiot now?
I got him. Yes, that is great.
I never heard from him.
Oh, goodness. Sis, Shirley, we love you. You can even handle your own just like that. That's awesome. That is awesome. That's one thing I do find, with YouTube comments is sometimes if you fight a little fire with fire, they tend to show up,
Yeah.
One person one time was in my comment section, and I used to do a bunch of dinosaur content, right? And I was, always real big into Jurassic Park and stuff like that. And, when the Jurassic World Evolution game came out, I skyrocketed in popularity, where I got most of my subs from. Well, of course, the game flopped, and I was very outspoken about that, as I am outspoken about everything. I tend to speak before I think, always openly and honestly. Well, I told the people that I was going to be going away from that game just because I'm not going to showcase a game that I don't support. It's just how it is. I want to play things that I want to play. And so I started.
Right, me too.
Right. So, naturally. So if you're not into a game, I don't want to fake happiness for my subscribers just because they're into that game. I want them to subscribe for me because they like me, not just because of the game. I want them, if I have 16 different games going on 16 different days, I want them to watch me for me playing those games. And a lot of times, I have a couple salty people from those old days, and they'll come in and go, oh, well, look at this dead channel, and sometimes they're really nasty. I'll just go to their channel, screenshot their sub count, and go, well, I must be doing something right. And just say something snarky.
Oh,
yes.
I did that once, too. Somebody said something to me as though they knew all about what I was doing wrong. Right. And I went and checked their channel, and they had 2 subscribers. And I think they had maybe 1 video on there. And I said something about it.
Oh, it's like a backseat driver,
Yeah.
It's like I will support everybody. I mean, I have friends who have subscriber bases of only 19 subs, and I'm there talking to them every day about how they can make their videos better. But if you're one of those type of people and you don't have anything to show for what you're saying, is like, come on, move it on, bro.
Yes.
It's like you're wasting you're spending your time commenting on this video when you could be using those criticisms on your own content.
Yeah.
But you're always going to have some.
I had one guy tell me, he didn't ask me, he told me to play something, and I said no because I don't like that game, and he said, well, you're supposed to play games that we like. And I said, I'm sorry, this is my channel, and I'm just playing games for my own amusement, not yours. And if you don't like it, you can go watch somebody else play it.
Yeah, it's entitled, for sure. Oh, goodness. But yeah, you're going to get those people.
Yeah.
Now, with your recent character setup with the Deadeye Gang, what inspiration, do you take from when you first started that new series? How do you come up with these type of role-playing ideas?
Now, that's something I don't know how to answer because I make stories out of everything in my head. I mean, I can sit in a restaurant and look at somebody and think all kinds of things about them, and I just start making up a story. I do this all the time. So I lay in bed at night and make up Skyrim stories. And these characters just come in my head. I don't know where the inspiration comes from.
Well,
I did see a picture the other day of a screenshot in somebody's game, and I told them, I said, ooh, that picture just gave me an inspiration for another series. But I'm not going to say what it is.
Okay. We'll stay tuned.
But it's all Khajiits.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. There you go. There you go. We'll hold on to that. Nice little tidbit of information there.
But it won't be coming. It won't be coming too soon because I've already got 2 or 3 others in my head first.
Hey, take your time. Take your time. We will be more than happy with whatever you give us. That's for sure. So, you do seem to be ever engaged in these adventures that you do partake in. You seem to never lose that sense of in-game wonder and curiosity that all of us gamers have relished in at some point in time or another. You know, how do you remain so pure and genuine? And it is your most endearing quality, hands down.
Well, for one thing, I'm still finding new places that I hadn't discovered before. And so that those are always amazing and interesting.
Like the rat hole.
But yeah, but when I'm telling a story, I'm seeing everything from that character's viewpoint. And I can't seem to get this through the head of a lot of my subscribers because they act like I'm stupid and don't know what I'm doing. And the thing is, they'll say things to me and I'll say, yes, I know that. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't know that. Right. I'm telling his story.
Right.
So a lot of times when I'm talking and I'm talking for my character, you may think that it's, oh, look at that. That's so cool. Well, it is still cool to me, but it really is to the character because the character hasn't seen it before. Right.
Or even like I've noticed that too. Like I caught on to that early on. It's like certain times where Inigo or Mercurio or whoever you have with you isn't on their horse with you at the time. You will literally stop, wait for them, go back, look for them. Everybody who's ever played Skyrim knows you just walk down a little bit and they'll appear next to you, you know.
Yeah.
But that's what's so awesome about it is you know, I was sitting there watching it and my fiance literally said, she said, why don't she just, you know, go down a little ways and, you know, he'll pop up in front of you, but, you know, materialize. And I was like, but her character doesn't. Her character's in the world going, where in the hell is Inigo at? Right. And I can't do this on my own. Right. Right. Not everybody gets that. So hopefully that'll help clear a little bit of that up. That's awesome.
I doubt it. And they're always telling me, well, Grandma, you can click on your tilde key and go in the controls. I don't want to do that.
It's true. It's true. Oh goodness, I love it though. It's what makes it so, you know. It's what makes gives it the quality, you know. Let's see. Okay, so I guess this is a good one. What did you do for fun before YouTube?
I don't remember.
Well, we know you like to knit, right?
No, not knit. I like to quilt.
What? There's like knit, crochet, and quilt, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
I quilt.
Right.
Well, I had made a lot of quilts because I made one for each of my grandchildren that I had at the time and for myself. And so I hardly ever have time to do that anymore. That's why I took 2 weeks off recently so I could get some done.
No, I gotcha.
And let's see. I read all the time. I still try to read as much as I can. Oh, and I used to draw a lot. I used to paint in oils. And once my children started coming along, I had to stop that because their little fingers was in the way all the time.
Wait, so you're telling me you used to Bob Ross it up?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That is awesome. That is so cool. That is so cool.
And I used to sew a lot because I made my clothes. And I had to stop doing that for a long time because kids' fingers got in the way. So, and I went to take a couple of college classes for writing.
Okay.
Because I was a frustrated author.
Exactly. Have you ever published a book?
No, I've never finished anything. That's why I'm called a frustrated author, because I don't have the dedication to sit and write and write and write all the time, which is what you have to do.
Right. Yes.
And I mean, you can't excel at your craft if you don't do it all the time.
100%.
So the stories come in my head and they flow out of my mouth onto the screen now,
Hey,
which is much faster than writing.
a story is a story, no matter how it's told, right?
Right.
Well, also, I guess I should say I don't. I'm a published author myself.
Are you really? What do you write?
I write post-apocalyptic fiction. I actually have only one full novel out and a bunch of short stories. And it just, like you said, because it takes so long, I haven't come out with the second one, and I haven't re-edited the first one. And of course, YouTube gets in the way. But yes, I do.
Oh, yeah.
It's so fun just to be able to come up with your own universe and everything that goes on with that. You really can't unless you do that yourself and appreciate it. You really can't understand how amazing it really is.
Yeah, I have tried, and I have some of it stuck away online in one of my books that I create.
Doesn't it seem daunting, though, every time you open it up to go do a little work on it or kind of think about it? It's just,
I don't have time anymore.
goodness. Yeah, I know. Even if you had the time, though, you're looking at, an average word count of, 30,000 or something like that?
Yeah.
It's like, good Lord. It's like, I'd rather just go upload a YouTube video.
It's easier and quicker.
Exactly. Oh, so how long were you an avid gamer before your first upload? What games? I know Civ 2 was one of your main ones, right?
That was the first one I played, and I played it for years. I finally started playing. I don't think I ever did play 3.
Never?
I started playing 4, and then I started playing 5, and I still play 5 once in a while.
See,
I was kind of anxious for 6 to come out because it was so totally different. But then I didn't like it, so I don't play it, because instead of having a whole world to play on, because I used to conquer my continent and everybody else's continent.
Mm-hmm.
Now you start a game in 6, you start your little city there, and just a few squares over, there's another city. A few squares the other direction, there's another city. And you don't have any place to spread out and conquer the world.
Well,
I mean, as you expand and grow.
Well, now there are settings to where in Civ 6 you can make the world huge and set the countries to a few and stuff like that. But it is definitely, I understand what you're meaning, because whenever I was playing even Civ 3 as opposed to now, don't get me wrong, I still play Civ 6 and I like it a lot. I think the districts taking up a whole tile of themselves is too much for me, but that's all separate. But I do remember that whenever I was playing Civ 3, I do remember having to look at the landscape and be able to having all this open area to yourself before that China was way over yonder and you can only go so far. But you could also have your little cities, and then further out you can place these little forts to help you keep track of who all is moving. And I definitely agree. It was it seemed like the country you was developing or building was a lot more personal back then.
Yeah, my favorite thing is expanding and building cities after cities after cities. That's the only thing I'm interested in now. But way back when I played Civ 2, I would have 1, 2, 3 rows of ships all around my continent.
Yeah.
All the 3 different types of ships, or 4, and nobody could get into me. And then I would just spread out and start conquering everybody.
That is awesome. That's kind of what I do if I'm on Civ 6 now and I find myself on a secluded island, which is hard to do. But if you ever do find yourself on a secluded island or a fractal map or something like that, that's exactly what I do. Is I immediately make settlers and go to the opposite ends, so that way nobody else get on there.
Yeah.
But my thing with Civilization, the older games was, or even now I still do it, but I fully immerse myself and I get really I get personally invested. If I get a
Yes.
a great person or a pyramid in this one city or something like that, or I've moved a couple of great people over there, or I've really put a lot of work into the land around it, or just anything, you know, like I get really personally invested. If I lose that city, I just, you know,
Get upset.
I know. I'm just like, I've failed my people. What can I do? I need to go into exile. Somebody else take over. Oh, that game. Let's see here.
But Civ is the only top-down games. It looks like a board game. Civ is the only games like that I would play. I wouldn't play any if any new ones came out like that now.
Yeah, one of them are as invigorating, I don't think, as, you know, Civilization. Let's see. Yeah, I do. I definitely agree. I don't really play any of those other games. Like, they had a Halo top-down game, and I was just like, eh. But yeah.
And I won't play those games that look like little tiny pixelated people that move, that you click along in a straight line, and I don't like them at all.
Little bad. Yeah, I don't like that. That's the reason why one of the reasons why I don't like the VR games is because a lot of those, when you move, you have to like point and click, and I'm big into immersion, so it's like, you know, like, why have you guys not come out with the treadmill yet? Let's get to moving.
That's why when the subs ask me to play all these different kinds of games, I think they must not have watched much of what I do, or they never read my comments or something, because they don't know me.
Right. Yeah, you definitely get that, especially with a channel as large as yours. You're going to have, you know, a small minority. I mean, with your channel, still huge, but a small minority of people who will, you know everything about you, you know, and retain all the knowledge. But then there's a huge amount of people, like when my channel, like, oh, he does dinosaur content, so I'm gonna subscribe, or not because I like what he's saying, or, you know, I'm personally invested in that person. And like with you, a lot of times they'll be like, oh yeah, I heard about that grandma gamer. That's awesome. That's so cool. I really like this, and subscribe and watch one or two, but not really get personally invested, which is okay. Nobody has to, you know, but it is like, it gets tedious when you have to repeat yourself a lot.
Yes, it does. I get so frustrated.
Yeah, it's like you just want to, like, just like you almost just want to have an image that just pop up on screen. I know what you're thinking right now, and here's what you need to know.
Yeah, once in a while, I get kind of snarky, and it's always at the wrong time, because it's a person that has just come on the channel for the first time, and then I feel so bad.
Then bit his poor head off. I was like, well, I heard great things about her. What happened? Oh, goodness. Well, what new specific games do you plan on playing in the future? If it's, you know, other than Elder Scrolls Online, do you have anything, you know, in your, you know?
Other than Elder Scrolls, I have on Steam in my wish list, I have Scorn, which is a horror game. It was supposed to have been out last year, but it still hadn't come out yet. That it's so gross looking. It looks like you're moving through somebody's guts. It's gross. Anyway, I'm gonna try that one. I don't know how long it lasts in it. And there's another scary one called The Lighthouse. I'm gonna try that. And another one called Unholy. And another one called Pray for the Gods. I want to try all of those. And but I might not ever finish them. I've started lots of games that's on my channel that I only played very few videos.
Yeah, like the Raft, is that one of them?
Which one?
Was it the Raft? Was that one of them?
Yeah, I think I tried the Raft.
Yeah, well, that's always like a nice little surprise whenever you upload something a little bit different, you know?
Well, I have a playlist called Grandma's Fridays or something. Anyway, I just play one video of something in there, just to try it.
Right.
So that playlist is full of just one video tries.
Well, yeah, you know.
So
it's kind of like the base of this podcast. Like, not everybody likes one game. Sometimes you got to branch out. You know, it's a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people like with your size and have such a dedicated following for one game. They're so afraid to upload something different. But with you, it's people legitimately are invested in you. So you could literally, you know, quit playing Skyrim tomorrow, and you'd have a little bit of backlash. But overall, you know, people would be like, I guess it's this game now.
Yeah.
So that's
and I have different playlists. Like I did Ark for a while. In fact, I have 2 or 3 different Ark series, but I haven't finished any of them. And but I did quite a few videos of them actually. So I do like other kinds of games sometimes until something goes wrong or I get tired of them or.
Yeah, that's me when something goes wrong. Like if I'm playing story-based stuff, like I was playing Ark because, you know, of course I had a dinosaur. This channel was a dinosaur channel for so long, and Ark. See, like I was starting to tame all my dinosaurs, and I was naming them after my subs and stuff. At that time, I only had like a couple hundred subs, so you know it's kind of all personal between us. You know, just me and the it was like a real close-knit community. It's really awesome. And well, then me and a couple of the dinosaurs had gotten into a skirmish, and one of my parasaurs had died, you know, and I couldn't get it to revive. I didn't have the medicine for it, and I was just so distraught. So I stopped the game, and then the next upload, I made a like a montage of all the fun times we had together, and I overlaid it with "In the Arms of an Angel," and I had like a nice little like I guess like a tombstone erected for all my dinosaurs. And I just couldn't bring myself to
I think that's sweet.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was such a great time, and I felt so. That's one of my biggest things. I get so personally connected to certain things, you know, and that's a true good hallmark of a game is you can be personally invested to the point where you feel like you feel bad or disappointed or even like, you know, emotional about whatever is happening, and it's just a collection of pixels on a screen with the sound, you know. It's great.
When I made my first series, Catament, that series was so personal to me that when I made that last video when he died, I cried making that whole video. I was crying as I was recording that. And every time I watch it since then, I cry.
I know.
And my subscribers would tell me that they cried while they was watching it.
Yeah, it's like,
so that's how real it was to me.
It's like the end of an era, something you've cultivated for this long, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very special thing that a lot of people who don't game won't ever understand it.
No.
Okay, so you have you've mentioned even in this podcast, you've mentioned other YouTubers that you've watched or talked to. Who do you frequent the most, and who do you enjoy the most? What's your favorite?
Right now, my favorite is Voices from the Dark. He does role play, and he does it so well. He does. Is it called machinima?
Machinima, yeah.
He can manipulate things so that he can make everybody do just exactly what he wants them to do and be where he wants them to be. And he did a tutorial of how to do that, but good grief, that is so time consuming. I don't know how he could have time to make very many videos, but I love watching his Skyrim series. And he has 2 or 3 that's my favorite. And I can watch them over and over and over.
Yeah, like some of those highly edited videos are just, you know, they're so good.
My favorite one that he does is Frostbite Chronicles. That's so good. I've watched that 3 or 4 times, the whole series.
It's inspiring, isn't it?
Yeah. And I just finished watching a Skyrim series that the Panic Monk made. His name is Joe, and he's from Couch Warrior TV.
Okay.
And his series, the Panic Monk, his series was about a Dwemer.
Really?
that came forward in time into the time of Skyrim. And he did it so cool. It's a really good one to watch.
That would be so awesome though if Bethesda actually did have I don't know, maybe like a Dwemer based game or a game based in the first era where there was Dwemer.
That would be interesting.
Oh, it would be so different because you just look at all the technology that they cultivated. It's almost like as if our civilization had been buried and on top of us erected a Skyrim medieval universe, and they happened to dig down and find huge metal cities and stuff. It's just crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Everything that goes on with the Elder Scrolls, the Dwemer is always in the background, and you don't really think about it. And there's a lot of storylines that have to go in with the older games and stuff. But if you just play, you don't really think about it too much. Even in the base storyline, it's just a part of the story. It's just a mulligan. And then when you look at it, you happen upon like a Dwemer ruins. It's just all inspiring, and the mechanical spiders, and it's just like what?
Yeah. Crazy. But even then, you don't think about what the people were like. And this character that the Panic Monk made he created the character from the beginning of the Skyrim game, like we all do. But then he dressed him in this Dwemer armor and stuff. And he was a Dwemer that had been, and I forgot now the beginning of it, how he got transported or why. But it was really done well.
Yeah, that's kind of work is awesome. I really like that. You've been shouted out a lot, so much from so many YouTubers on this platform. Which shout out are you most fond of? I mean, you've had interviews, you've had 60-second documentaries, you've had all kinds of stuff.
Oh gosh.
Is there one that sticks out above any other ones?
Maybe my last one for Gamers in Common or something like that. I forgot what they were called. And they flew in one of my subscribers, did an interview with me here in my apartment with us together. And that was really cool and a lot of fun.
That does sound like fun. Like unique, a very unique experience.
It was.
That's nice they did that for you. So
and my subscriber was Joseph Green.
Joseph Green.
And we got along great.
Shout out to Joseph Green.
Joseph Green.
He got that exclusive interview.
And yeah.
That's good. I bet that's his dream come true. Well, like little things like that are just so special.
They are.
And because you are the grandma of YouTube, are you proud of that title moniker? How do you feel about it?
I am. And the reason it came about is because my first few subscribers, before I ever even started recording, would call me grandma. And so, all the gamers call their subscribers something.
Right.
And I thought, so what am I going to call my subscribers? And when I first started recording, the first thing I said was, good morning, grandkids. And I thought, oh my God, that's what they are. They're all my grandkids. Yeah. So it stuck. History
was set.
Yes.
So that actually kind of brought me into my next question, which was, how did you get that title? But you already explained that, so that's awesome.
They gave it to me.
Exactly. It's like it was destined to be. What is your opinion on the current state of YouTube after the adpocalypse? I know you don't really kind of tend to think about stuff like that, but do you monetize your content anyway? Does that affect you?
I eventually started monetizing it because one of the gamers, a gamer that has thousands and thousands of subscribers, commented to me and said, why in the world don't you monetize your channel?
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I don't know.
If you make money on having fun, why not?
I did.
Well, good.
And it's not that big because my channel's not that big. But it's a little something.
Well, yeah, a little something's better than a little nothing.
For a couple of years, it helped pay my way to go to gaming conventions.
Oh, I bet it did. I bet it did, for sure. And also, I know you're not very tech savvy, but you upload 20, 30, 40-minute videos. You could slap, like, 10 mid-rolls on there. you could have so much ad revenue. You really could. But it's so awesome that even though you didn't click monetize until late in the game, it adds more to the authenticity of your channel. It really does. You're doing it to have fun foremost than anything else.
That's true.
That's why I even try to tell my subscribers, they're like, why are you not still doing dinosaur content? And I'm just like, look, guys, that game's set its course. I'm not happy with it. I want to move on to something that I'm going to enjoy. And from day one, I've always said that I value loyalty over my own AdSense. If I'm not making about 100 views, I don't care, because there's 100 people who want to watch me for what I am. And even if I have 100 subscribers, if I have 100 people who are, even being inspired or just being entertained or just having a good time, it means so much more than anything. Don't get me wrong, I'm young and I would love to be a PewDiePie level of subscriptions and money, and I would never say no. But at the end,
well, I have something to say about that when you're through.
Okay, but at the end of the day, it's cool to make money, but at the same time, you want to be able to always ensure that you can have fun and enjoy what you're doing, and those people aren't going to berate you just because you decided to do, I don't know, Fortnite one day over a different game,
That's right.
So, PewDiePie.
Well, not him particularly, but maybe so. I have no idea. But I keep getting emails from different sources wanting me to let them increase my viewership by really different kinds of means, other than the fact that the people subscribe to me because they like my channel and go out and pay for subscriptions. And I think, good grief. And I've gotten these from others that do it in other ways too, and offer to do this and that for my channel so that it will earn more money. And I thought, I wonder how many of these big YouTubers have done that.
Yeah, well,
because when I look at them and their game and how they play, and they're so awful, I think, how could they get that many subscribers?
Well, now there's a lot that goes into this. Now, whenever you're as large of a creator as you are, even me, I've had a couple different minor offers, but now there's different things like sponsorships, and there's other people who will try to say, hey, if you pay $100 a month, you'll get or not even if you pay $100. If you sign up to our group of creators, you will get X amount of views extra. And a lot of times those are multi-channel networks and stuff like that. And you talked about Machinima earlier. Machinima is actually kind of no longer in existence as a conglomeration of creators, just because they do exist as as a company themselves. But for what they used to be back in the day, it's not that way anymore, because YouTube used to be able to, or YouTube wouldn't allow gamers like us who make the videos we do to monetize on YouTube, because there's a lot of copyright issues, and there's a lot of like, for example, if you're making Nintendo games, they'll just take all your money. This is because that's just the right. A lot of people, if you watch a lot of Nintendo content, a lot of it is either highly edited or it's nothing but paid sponsorships and demonetized. Just because Nintendo will take every bit of that, which is their right. They own, we don't own gameplay. The company owns the gameplay, technically. Even though we're playing it, we're having our own. It's a weird legal thing. And what really means is that a lot of these people will try to shark you, pretty much, and they'll try to say you'll get this, this, and this if you sign up for this. And a lot of times, it's just not worth it, especially if you're a channel your size. It wouldn't make a big deal. And there's nothing there's no substitute for putting in the effort yourself. You're never, you know, in anything in life. You know, in 1,000 years, I can create a robot to make my bed for me. But 50 years after that, am I going to be able to know how to fold a sheet? Probably not. So, like,
right,
you know,
right.
If I want to grow a YouTube channel, I need to learn how to do that. Now, there are different things like sponsorships and stuff like that, and a lot of times you'll want to research those sponsorships to see if, you know, their I guess business model is moral, you know, ethical. That way you don't get in trouble. You don't want to promote, you know, gambling sites to kids or stuff like that. You know, there's a lot of that stuff.
Well, I just delete them all because that's not how I want my channel to grow.
Right. You should. Nobody should ever want to do that. And a lot of those people are just sharks. You know, they'll find a way to be like, $50 a month and you'll have 1,000+ Twitter followers a day. Well, is that going to make you back that $100? Probably not. You know, it's just numbers on a screen. And it's not organic, you know. So really though, if you're ever really wanting to grow on YouTube, there's free stuff like there's an app or a download link called vidIQ, and what that does is you download that onto your if you have Chrome, you just download it onto your Chrome browser, and what that does is whenever you're uploading a video, it'll show you a video that's similar to yours, and it'll show you the tags they use in their video, and you can kind of use some of their tags and stuff like that, or shows you, you know, your engagement rate and gives you some extra stats. But you know, other than that, it's, in my opinion, how I did it was just literally, you know, watching and liking content that I wanted to create, you know. And kind of is like, there's a lot of people who do that. They'll spam you with like these kind of get rich quick schemes, you know, and it's just like,
they do.
Oh man, it's really it's sad. Really, it is. Oh, what is your opinion on the current state of I guess gaming? Do you think it's going? Do you think games are getting better? Do you think they're getting, I guess, you know, underdeveloped, rushed, or you think it depends on developer, the game, stuff like that?
See, I don't know too much about that, but from what I've seen of older games and the new games, I certainly think they're getting better. I like anything that's graphically better. And I hear a lot of people say, I don't care about the graphics, I care about the game, how it's played, the mechanics of playing the game. Sure. And I don't care about the mechanics of playing it as much as I care about the graphics. I want it to look good, clear and sharp and real as possible.
Because the immersion helps so much with that. Have you thought about playing Red Dead Redemption? You know, because you could, after
if it ever comes out on PC, that Red Dead Redemption 2, yes, I'm going to try playing that game and see what I can do with it.
Because that seems like right up your alley as far as just like sitting down the trail and just finding your own way, you know?
I hope. I know that it has a story to it, but I don't think it's so much of a story that you can't go off on your own and still make your own story, interacting with the NPCs in there.
Right. Well,
so I'm going to try.
Yeah, I think you would like that. I really do. At least I enjoyed it. But, you know, so I guess before the new year, you uploaded a vlog where you read all the grandkids a bedtime story. I just wanted to say,
oh yes, the night before Christmas.
Yes. I just wanted to say that was awesome. I don't even have a question. I just want to say that.
Oh, I have had 20-some-year-old and 30-some-year-old men comment to me and say that they listened to that and really loved it. And some of them would say they had never had a story read to them before. And I thought, that's so sad.
Well, you know, it's not sad anymore because you changed that for them. It's like, it's wholesome, you know, and it seems like all like tongue in cheek, but for somebody so genuine, and there's not like any flamboyant, you know, editing. There's nothing to that. Like what you see is what you get, and there's just something to that that's I don't know. It's just there's a certain specialness to it that you can't. And really, I mean, you know, it could have been anybody, but you do it so well, and you're so genuine about it. You know, I don't know.
Thank you.
It's hard to put it into words. No, thank you, thank you, for sure.
The subscribers have asked me before, often, in fact, that to read something to them, that they like to hear me read stories, and I do every once in a while. So.
Yeah, or maybe some of those Skyrim stories. If you ever let's open up a book and write out of those.
Yeah, I've got one of those books. Let's see. I've got The Eternal City, because I wondered about that floating city on this rock up in the sky.
Yeah.
And so one of the subscribers sent me this book, and I started reading it, and it's interesting, but it's not the kind that I could read in a video, I don't think, because it kind of goes slow.
Yeah.
And there's things in it that I would have to stop and explain.
Right.
And I don't know how that would go in a vlog.
Yeah, I could see that, but it is cool. And if you're ever playing the game and you come across Ragnar the Red, that's a quick book I think a lot of people will like.
Now, I have read one or two in the game like that, short ones.
Yes.
I make sure it's a short one.
Yeah, I love those. Those
and I read the things that I'm supposed to read, but...
Well, see, whenever I first got introduced to Elder Scrolls with Oblivion, and then I went back and played Morrowind, but Oblivion, I spent countless hours just reading books.
I'm always collecting them because I think my characters them someday, but they never get time.
Right. Well, in a past vlog, you have said that you were sad that the times often goes, some of the... Excuse me, I said that completely wrong. In another past vlog, you have said you are sad that the times often goes some of the same old pastimes, like penning letters. Some of those things just kind of evaporate over time, right? The act of pinning a letter to our pen pal or something like that. Or do you think technology has benefits, more benefits than detriments when it comes to that?
You're talking about what I said about writing letters.
Yes.
And used to, we would save our letters and tie them up with a ribbon.
Yep.
And you can't do that anymore because nobody writes letters. It's always email. And it isn't near as personal. I have some letters that are tied up with. My son sent me a few letters when he was overseas during a desert storm. And like he was sitting out on his balcony where they was staying, and he was writing me this letter, and a bug landed on one of the pages, and he smashed the bug, and then he wrote bug and made an arrow pointing up to that smashed place, and I absolutely laughed my head off. And I thought, you can't do that in an email.
You're right. 100%. You cannot. That is 100%. Or just like the act of having a pen pal. Like that, you don't hear about that anymore.
No, I used to have pen pals too. I had a pen pal that was in Spitsbergen, a little teeny tiny frozen island way up in the North Atlantic, I think. And they were very isolated. I think he was in the military, and that's where he was based for a time. And we wrote back and forth quite a few letters. I was a teenager then, and it was fun.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff doesn't happen anymore. Or just like the act of burying a time capsule whenever you move from a new house to another.
Yeah.
None of those little bitty things. None of those happen anymore. It's kind of sad. But I guess we got technology now, and we got Skyrim, so.
Well, and everything goes so fast now. Yeah. Everything is so instant. The more technology we get, the faster we want things to go.
Oh, yeah.
It's like when I first started playing Banished. Do you know what game that is? It's a little city building game.
Yeah.
Well, I played that after I played Civ. And I started out on the very, very slowest setting, which is a 1. You can play 1, 2, 5, or 10. And my son said, something about, you should go up to 10. And I said, oh my goodness, no, that's way too fast. I can't see what anybody's doing. And by the time I'd played it for a while, I was getting so bored with how slow they was moving around.
You wish you could have 11.
So I put it up to 10. And I thought, oh, I told him, I said, oh, this is so much better. And he laughed at me. And after a while, I emailed him and I said, I wish they had a setting higher than 10.
Yeah. No kidding, right? Yeah. You gotta be willing to try those new things in games. I've learned that sometimes. Like I get into a set play style of doing something, or I like a certain way, and then something like that, I'll be like, hey, why don't you just do it this way? This will help you out that way. I'm like, no, but I like it this way. And then I do that, and it's just like there's like a whole new way to play a game. You know, next thing you know, you're in a town so quickly, and yeah, it's great. Well, I guess speaking of vlogs, you upload them here and there, but you are vaguely, or largely, excuse me, not vaguely, largely focused around fan mail and and video logs about yourself and stuff like that. Why did you decide to start doing that kind of stuff? And many of your fans would love to know more about the daily life of Grandma Shirley and what you go about your day-to-day life in between videos.
Well, that's what I try to put some of in these vlogs, and that's why I started doing them. Because it's easier just to sit here and talk to them than it is to try to answer questions in the comments section.
Right, right.
So, and I know they want to know personal things, and I try to incorporate things. Then they always comment and say, "Oh, I'm so glad you told us that something about yourself." And I try to incorporate that in there whenever I can think of something that they might be interested in.
Right, right. But
that's why I just do them once in a while, because I don't have enough interesting things in my life.
Well, I mean, just the fact that you are the grandma of the grandma gamer of YouTube is pretty much like that is like the biggest thing about you. So it's when people come to your channel, they're pretty much getting that. So it's nice to have little vlogs, it's nice to have those little vlogs to break up the, because when you come to Grandma Shirley's channel, you know that you're going to get some good quality, immersive escapism in gameplay. But then you see like one of those vlogs, and it's just nice because you're like, even though you're not face to face, you feel like that, and you feel like you really are just.
I feel like I am.
Right. Exactly. You feel like you're visiting somebody, Your age is obviously your biggest trope and attraction on this platform. The grandma who games, as many like to say. So there really is no avoiding questions about your age, No. So it is the biggest thing. So you seem to be vibrant and capable. How do you feel about being constantly reminded of being elderly?
Oh, I don't care. I talk about it myself. I am what I am, so why try to avoid it?
Right. Well, that's cool. That's good because a lot of people. I feel like what we talked about earlier. A lot of people are just so afraid to having that stigma. I think it's so wholesome that you just shatter that, and it's also your biggest attracting point too. So why not play on it, right? That's awesome.
Well, I just talk about it whenever the subject comes up. It's just.
It is the subject though. It's like it's your channel. I love that so much about it though. It's like it's the grandma gamer, but when you go to your channel, it's not like you're talking about how you're a grandma who games. You're literally just gaming. That's the beauty
right.
That's the beauty of it. I love it. You don't talk much about. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sometimes a commenter will say something to me like, Grandma, at your age, do you, and then they'll put in parentheses, I don't mean to offend. Well, it doesn't offend me when they talk about my age.
Right. But that does go to show just how much your fans do care about you, though. They don't want you to they always want to make sure they're coming off in a good light towards you. And that's what, again, everything just adds to that wholesomeness into your community. It's one of the most precious gems on YouTube, for sure.
What really tickles me is when somebody will say something to me and some other commenter is afraid it's going to be offensive. and they'll jump in there and say, "You can't talk to Grandma like that."
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's like it's good that they're taking up for you, but Grandma Shirley, guys, she can take care of herself, believe me. All right. That's, you know, I don't know. I'm just so infatuated with your community and how awesome that is. I guess I want to move on to the next question, but I just keep thinking about it. I got to shake it from my head.
Okay.
All right. So,
What's the next question?
You talk about your family a lot, but you don't really get into too much specifics, and that's completely okay. You do talk about your son extensively.
Well, I have 4 sons. And it's my second son, whose online name is Tiberius. He's Tiberius. He's the one that gave me my first computer and my first Civ game and taught me how to use both. My other 2 sons, younger than him, they like to play games too and are into computers. My oldest son never was into computers because he was older, and when he was young, there wasn't things like gaming and computers and stuff, I guess. And like on the Civ game, when my other 2 sons would ask Tiberius about something in Civ, he'd say, "I don't know, ask Mom." So that would go on. And they all think it's kind of cool that I'm a gamer. And my grandchildren all think it's cool that I'm a gamer. My youngest sons, no, not my youngest son, the second youngest son. His son is an avid gamer and thinks it's cool that I am, but he tries to help me learn how to use a controller.
Yeah.
And I just cannot use that thing.
Yeah.
And he didn't have the patience. And he said, I'd ask him, "Well, what was that I was supposed to do again?" He'd say, "Grandma, I told you once." Well, once isn't enough.
Goodness. You're taking an 80-year-old lady out of her comfort zone and sticking a controller in her hand and making her use one thumb to look around while taking the other thumb to move forward.
No, I just can't do them buttons on there.
Boy, it's good to know that you're so close to your family. Are you independent on your own? Do you have a good support system on a day-to-day basis?
I live here by myself. My sons live across the country, and I have my quilting friends here, and I don't have a car. When I moved here to Virginia, I gave my car to one of my sons because I couldn't get a driver's license here. I had to get a identity card because my peripheral vision is bad. I would have to have a surgery on my eyes to get some of the skin that droops on the sides off.
I gotcha.
And I've just never done it. And besides, I felt like I was getting too old to drive anyway. I'm sure I'd be a safety hazard out there on the highway.
Well, nowadays the problem is people are of age to drive but too young to drive. Is the way they feel it, because they just take Uber. You know, I mean,
I wish we had an Uber here, but this is a little town, and there's nothing here. I've had to walk all over Rocky Mountain where I wanted to go. But now I have sat here at this computer gaming for several years, and I can't walk as far as I used to.
Well,
so,
Grandma Shirley, and do some exercise. You can go
yes, I do. Yes, I do. But I never get up from here to go do it. My son gets on to me all the time. And but one of my friends, she comes, and when she's going to the grocery, she'll come pick me up, take me in.
Well, good.
And she'll take me to the post office to check for my mail there and stuff like that.
Well, you good, because we care about you. We don't want you to be lonely. We want you to make sure you have a good support system. And
oh, my God. I'm never lonely.
Good.
I'm never lonely. Even if there was nobody around, I wouldn't. I have so many interests in so many things that if I had the time to spend with them all. I don't have time to be lonely.
Well, good. That's good to hear. Because everybody deeply, deeply cares about you. I can guarantee that.
Thanks.
Seeing as you are the grandma of YouTube, in what other ways does your age affect you both negatively and positively?
Negatively is the fact that I can't drive and take myself where I want to go. I can't just up and say, oh, I want to run over to the store.
Right.
Or something like that anyway. So not having a car or not being able to have a license to drive it if I had one is the first thing to go when you start getting old. That's the first loss of independence. Right. And it about killed me when the time came, but I'm over it.
Well, is there any ways that it's affected you positively?
It made me start walking several years ago, which I did a lot, and lost weight, felt good.
Right. It made you be more conscientious of like your overall health, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, that took place after I had heart surgery because I had a triple bypass. And before that, I felt like I needed to crawl up a hill. And this little town is but hills. And after my surgery, after the therapy was all over, I could just walk all over the place. And that's when I started getting really healthy.
Right on. That's good. So you have lived like a long and worthwhile life, and now you are firmly seated at the top of your pinnacle gaming career as the grandma of YouTube, immortalized forever. People will watch your videos for years to come. And I am one of the few people who remembers what it's like before the internet. So what was pre-internet Shirley up to? What was some hobbies besides just the quilting and the gaming? Did you really into your job, or
Well, yeah, that's when I worked and read a lot and painted and sewed, and those were the things I did.
Well, I guess
and
we really kind of talked about that kind of.
And when I was working, I partied too much.
Yeah.
And,
No, we can't just say you party too much. What do you mean by partying?
Oh my gosh!
Get into some specifics.
I don't know.
Don't tell me YouTube. You don't need to.
I went around to bars and clubs too much.
Oh well, nothing different anybody else didn't do.
And but once I got into the computer age, I wondered how in the world, especially cell phones.
Yeah.
Since we started having cell phones, I thought, how in the world did my kids get along without having a cell phone?
Yeah.
I couldn't know where they was at. They couldn't call and let anybody know what they was going to do.
Well, trust was a big thing back then. Like, trust was a real big thing.
Yes.
So, I mean, because you really only had somebody's word to go on.
Right.
Nowadays.
And I've thought about, as when they was growing up, there wasn't any computers. And I thought, my goodness, they used to go out and play and do all these kind of things. I remember they went down in some bushes near the Colorado River when we lived in Arizona, and they would make a fort under those big bushes. And they'd bring home snake skins.
Oh my God. That seems like such a good time. It does. And I mean, some of those times are kind of dangerous though, because you think about it, you're just like my parents was like literally get out and be back by September. Here's a BB gun. Don't shoot your sister.
Oh, that was another thing. They all wanted BB guns, and I wouldn't give them one. Right. And I took them to the doctor's office for a checkup once, or it's time for them to get their shots or something. There sat a kid with his mom, and he was holding this bloody gauze up to his eye. And his mom said that he got shot in the eye with a BB gun, which was the big joke. Oh, you'll shoot your eye out.
Shoot your eye out.
And I looked at my kids and I said, see, that's why you don't have a BB gun.
Yes. Oh, goodness. Oh, that's hilarious. For many of us who don't know, have you ever been married in the past?
Yes, too many times.
Too many times. All right, we'll leave that as that. I guess, what has been your most dreaded or hated situation while on YouTube? Or have you
Oh my goodness. I don't think I've had any.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It just goes to play even more into how wholesome your channel is, you know? It's like there's not
Well, there hasn't been anything that I would dread. There hasn't been anything that I've hated, because if anything upset me, I took care of it.
What about the pressure to feel you need to upload? I feel that all the time. If I don't upload in a couple of days, I get real antsy.
Well, the subscribers would like it if I published every day.
Right.
But I don't have the time to make that many videos. And so I try to make them at least every other day. But sometimes I get to playing and I'm just so into it that I just make one every day.
Right.
So it just depends on what mood I'm in and whether I'm tired or not. But I don't let them pressure me, because my channel isn't about them.
Right.
My channel is about me, and I thought it would be fun to do.
Right. And it just so happens that you have awesome people who like to watch.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. That's the best way to look about it.
So they don't pressure me, no.
Right.
Sometimes they try to, but it doesn't work.
Well, even then though, I've even seen that, like, sometimes if they'll ask you a question in your comment section, you'll answer them, and a lot of times there's not really much pushback. They're like, oh, okay, you know, it is what it is, no big deal. You know,
Yeah.
It's just, and a lot of times, a lot of channels, you know, you don't get that. It's just, you'll have those long-winded arguments on why you should do this and why you shouldn't do that. But it's like, once you just set your standard that I don't care, and neither should you, people stop
Right.
after a while.
Right.
All right, so we're coming up to the section of the podcast where we're going to have like a fun after the interview podcast game. The game's called This or That, and it's a rapid fire sort of questions. The rules
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And it might go horribly wrong, and we might have to edit it out. I don't know. But if it makes it in, we'll keep that part in. So, the rules are, you have to answer each question as soon as the host asks. You get 45 seconds on the clock. You will only get 2 choices for each question, or if you don't know or don't get the reference, you know, if it's a meme or something like that, you can pass, come back to the end. Your score will be compared to other guests from future podcasts, and you know, yeah, maybe you know, maybe you'll hold the champ. You'll be obviously the first champion, you know, but maybe you'll hold that championship. We don't know. All right. Now, also, due to fairness, I didn't send you any of these this or that questions because, you know, then you'd be able to prepare for them, and that wouldn't be fair.
No, you didn't.
Right. It wouldn't be fair to other guests. But of course, don't worry. None of them are anything that might be, you know, crazy or something that you wouldn't feel like, you know, I guess.
Okay. We'll see how quick my brain can think.
All right. So, are you ready?
Yep.
It's going to be a series of 15 questions. Answer them as quickly as you possibly can. If you don't know, you're allowed to pass.
Okay.
All right. 45 seconds on the clock. Your time starts now. As soon as I get done answering the first question. PewDiePie or T-Series?
Pass. I guess I don't understand that
It's fine.
reference.
Waffles or pancakes?
Waffles.
Strawberry or grape?
Strawberry.
Tomato or tomato?
Tomato.
Hit or miss?
Pass. That would depend.
Left or right?
Right.
Ham or burger?
Ham.
Sunrise or sunset?
Ooh, sunset.
Today or tomorrow?
Today.
All right, well, that's 45 seconds. So you made it to question 9. So that's going to be the reigning number is 9. But we will finish the rest of the questions just so, you know, since I typed them out and I need an answer, you know, so.
Okay.
So 45 seconds at number 9 is the holding record for this podcast, the very first podcast so far. So congratulations on being the champion of this or that. You know, kind of like a...
That won't last long.
Well, hey, 9 isn't that bad, really. Because I knew T-Series and PewDiePie would throw you off. Okay.
I still don't understand that.
All right, okay. So T-Series and PewDiePie, you know who PewDiePie is, right?
Yes.
Okay, now, recently, there's an Indian YouTube channel, which is like a Bollywood type of videos. They upload Bollywood videos. And they have a huge, they're kind of like Universal, but in India. You know what I mean? Universal Pictures. Sort of.
Okay.
So, and now that they have a YouTube channel and India is coming online because they have 1 billion people there and millions of people are coming online with cell phones every day. T-Series is gaining subscribers and they're soon projected to pass PewDiePie. And whenever that was going to happen, creators came out of the woodwork, bought billboards, told people to subscribe to PewDiePie, hacked printers, made them print out pages saying subscribe to PewDiePie, and so far they've been keeping PewDiePie above T-Series. So there's a whole little internet battle going on right there.
Huh.
So that's...
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, PewDiePie or T-Series. It's okay though, it's fine. It's great. Don't worry about it. It's fine. You don't have to...
I'd probably have picked T-Series.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you heard it here first, folks. Oh.
And I don't even know anything about what it's like.
Oh, I love you to death. Okay. All right, so we stopped at number 9, so let's go through 10 through 15 real quick. Number 10 was chicken or the egg?
Ooh. Chicken.
Chicken. Peanut butter or jelly?
Peanut butter.
Whip or nay-nay?
Nay-nay.
You get that one, huh? Okay, so this one you might not get. It's the meme right here. Ugandan knuckles or big chungus?
I don't get that one.
All right, we'll pass that one. An abandoned but well-fed orphan Khajiit child or a lost enslaved Argonian child?
The Khajiit child.
Without a thought. All right, and the last and final question is this or that?
This.
Okay, all right. So it's pretty painless. It's a fun game. It's a fun game to play.
Yeah.
Got a lot. And you can really, like, there's no limit to these questions, you know? You could come up with anything. All right.
I think there's actually a game you can buy that all the cards in the game have things like that on it.
Yeah. That's, I gotta get that. I gotta get that now.
Yeah.
Fun to play. All right. Okay. So that's pretty much the end of the show, end of the interview. We've got a couple bonus questions, maybe some topics if we have time, and then we'll get we'll do fan questions first, and then we'll go on to our bonus questions and stuff like that.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to your channel here, and I'm going to go to your community list, and from these two posts here, I'm going to start with the one that has 300 likes on it, and we're going to read a few of those. Again, if you don't want to answer them, just let me know. If you know of one that I didn't and you want to hear it, no big deal.
300 likes on it. Good grief.
300 likes on it. Like I said, now the community post will go straight to your like a subscription. It'll notify your subscribers. So it's pretty nice. And Darla Blitz, I'm sorry if I butchered your name, says, "Hi Grandma, here's my question. Were you nervous to start recording yourself? And if so, how do you get over that?"
I was very nervous. That's why I put it off, even though I knew the subscribers wanted me to, because I was scared. And finally, I just decided I'd go ahead and try it just for the fun of it. So I made a video and posted it, and it went viral overnight because somebody put it on Reddit. And the next morning, I had so many comments and emails. I didn't know what they were. I didn't know what they were for. Yeah. I didn't know they was from that video. And I was so scared about all that in my email that I cried. Oh. I didn't know what to do.
Sometimes when you're thrust into stardom, people, you don't know what to do. And
I didn't even know what it was from.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
Yes.
That's a good question. Good question. All right. Cinnamel says, how are you doing lately, and where do you think Elder Scrolls 6 will take place? We've kind of answered that before, but if you want to, go on about that, you can. And what race you'll play with? I think we'll all, think that's probably a Khajiit.
I'm sure it will be a Khajiit.
Right.
And I have no idea. I wouldn't care where it's placed, just so it's in a land that's beautiful.
Right. Cloud Runner asks, what is your favorite weapon of choice?
I like a good sword with a spell on it, and I like a good bow with a spell on it. I like them enchanted.
Good. That's a good answer. especially with the what's the one where if you kill somebody, it's a spell too, but if you have it on a sword, you can strike them again and they'll come back from the dead. I love that one.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's such a great
I haven't had that sword.
Yeah, well, and
I like the sword that gets their soul.
Yeah. And there's also a spell you can just get that just cast on them, and it'll for a certain amount of time it'll bring them back, or until they.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Let's see. Jacob Sartorius asks, not the real Jacob Sartorius, asks, hi Grandma from Another Blood, what is your favorite place in Skyrim?
The Whiterun Hold. I like being in that area better than any other area.
All right, fair enough. Dead Silence 256. If you could be one character from Skyrim, who would it be?
One of the characters?
Yeah,
wow. Well,
or whoever.
Since I got the mod put in, I would be Majol because she's gorgeous.
Yes, she is. With that mane of hair she's got,
Oh, yes. And that accent.
Yeah. Ukami Chi says, hi Grandma, my question is, what is your favorite thing about Skyrim?
My favorite thing is that I can wander all over the place and do whatever I want to and find new things all the time.
Tassiv Childberry, I'm sorry if I say your name wrong, says, which classic game do you love the most? Fair to say Civ 2?
Which classic game? I really don't know what are considered classic games.
That's the thing. Are we talking about PC? Are we talking about, Nintendo Entertainment System? Are we talking about Atari? Are we talking about pinball?
Yeah. And I've only played on PC, so I don't know.
Well, if you're wanting real classic games, there's board games, it's like, yeah, we'll just go with Skyrim.
Just Skyrim, yeah. Skyrim. Otherwise, I'd be playing some other game.
Right, and it's a classic at this point anyway, so. Okay, this is kind of a good question. Laura Elstad asks, if you were to be a character in the Elder Scrolls 6, if you was to be immortalized as a character in the game, which is a good possibility. They've done that in the past, and you carry so much weight with this community, especially with nothing but wholesome positiveness for this game. Would you rather be an NPC with a script, with having a single quest or a short quest line, or would you rather be a companion, something like Inigo?
I would rather be a companion.
There you go. With a lot of dialogue options.
Yeah, and get to play along with whatever character they made for themselves.
That would be a lot of work. Bethesda would have to fly you out, and you'd have to have days of just audio work.
Well, there are some modders that are working on me as a follower for Skyrim SE.
Yeah, let's hope to get on that. That'd be cool.
They have picked out a lot of dialogue that I have said in my games.
There you go.
And others that they want to incorporate, they're going to have me record. So that's been posted a couple of times about it. So I'm not speaking out of turn.
We're looking forward to that.
So am I, because I'm gonna have that as a companion for myself.
Right. Oh goodness, oh wow, that's gonna be an odd dynamic, huh?
I got a whole good story for that, just waiting
Well,
in my head.
Look, this is a pretty good question. Little Buddha says, how deep can love be that I comment to Shirley at 4 a.m. in the morning? Cheers from Germany.
Isn't that sweet?
That is. I like that a lot.
4 in the morning, he'd watch my video.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that, but you need to be in bed asleep.
You gotta do what she says. You know, it's just, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Thor Ice Queen 13 says, I hope you are back to your own self. Will you ever do another Khajiit playthrough now that Katamet is gone?
Oh yes, I am back to myself. I've been feeling pretty good for a few months now. I feel good, and yes, my next series after I'm finished with the Deadeye Gang is going to be a Khajiit.
Awesome. Let's see. A lot of these are kind of questions you already covered. Okay, here we go. Ryan Cross says, what is your favorite thing about being a YouTuber?
All of my subscribers. I love talking to everybody. That's why I like to make vlogs even better than videos, because I can just sit here and talk to you.
Right. That is the very appealing thing about it, for sure. Just being able to connect to people who are like-minded. It's again, if you're not doing that or part of that, it's hard to explain to anybody who, you know, doesn't understand how much joy that can potentially bring anybody, really.
Yeah. And it's because they make me cry and they make me laugh and they tell me things about themselves so I get to know them. I just enjoy all of it.
Good. Let's see here. All right, well, that's pretty much all those questions there. That's, you know, worthwhile. This next one. Well, we'll edit this part out, but this person says, what is your favorite race to play in Skyrim? This person's is Khajiit. I was like, well, you're asking that, you're probably a brand new subscriber, so we appreciate you subscribing. We love you for it. Let's see. Okay, here's a decent one. I guess given if you had somebody to help you out with it, do the video portion for you. Do you ever think that you'll be able to do reaction videos of like a silly viral videos of the internet, memes, stuff like that?
I've never thought about doing that at all.
Now, consider somebody could do that editing for you, obviously, you know. Because it takes a little bit to be able to learn how to do all that.
Yeah, I would never be able to do it without help like that, but right. I've never even thought about doing it. So, I don't watch very many of those kind of videos. And
so, I mean, if so, it would have to be something like a tailored thing where it wouldn't happen very often, and somebody'd have to compile a list for you to react to. You know, yeah, I mean, it'd be fun to see. It'd be cool, but it's not like that would be the bulk of uploads or anything.
No.
But if you was in the memes and stuff, I could see how that'd be cool, you know. You know, with the PewDiePie and T-Series stuff.
No.
Now you're gonna think about that kind of stuff, and when you see a video like that, you're gonna be curious. The things people get into on this site. I feel bad for not reading their question, but it's all stuff we've already said. Let's see. Okay, well, Psycho Hobo AUZ says, what is your favorite class to play and why?
Now, I'm asked that a lot, and I don't really play classes because I've read about, I had that great big Skyrim book that helps you with everything.
Yeah.
And it gives you all the different kinds of classes and what kind of armor and so on goes with each class.
Right.
I don't do that. I just collect things as I go along and wear or use things that I like. And if I'm playing a certain story, like right now, I'm playing a mercenary. Well, I go about doing mercenary things, but I don't care what kind of armor or what kind of weapons I use. I use whatever I want to.
Right.
So classes don't mean anything to me. So I can't have a favorite class.
So I guess basically she's balanced. You know, if she needs to pull out a bow, she will. If she needs to throw a fireball, she will.
Right.
If she needs to pull out a hammer, she'll smack a wolf.
Right.
William Marmall asks, I would love to know the answer to what is your favorite book and why?
My favorite book isn't just one book. It was a series I love better than just one book. But it was my first time into fantasy, which is what started this whole thing. And this was way back many years ago. My sons went together and bought me the whole set of books by Stephen R. Donaldson. And the books were the Chronicles of Thomas Covenant the Unbeliever. And I was so thrilled with those. I've read that whole series either 3 times or 4 times.
You know, it's so funny that you said that. Whenever I was in 9th grade, I had a choice of either reading. There's a few books, but there's a choice of reading that in 9th grade or The Never-Ending Story, and I chose The Never-Ending Story.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, you should try this. These are really interesting and good, and lots of fantasy, and that just started my whole from then on. I read fantasy novels and series all the time. Well, good. Yeah, that's why I love Skyrim.
They really capture the imagination, you know. T. Weber says, I don't have any questions, but I love your videos, Grandma.
So I can tell that person that the kind of books that I have been into lately is political spy thrillers and political murder mysteries and stuff like that.
I gotcha. Oh, excuse me. Scoot asks, which joinable faction is your favorite if you had to choose? Companions, College of Winterhold, Thieves Guild, Dark Brotherhood, Dawn Guard, Volkjar clan, the vampire clan, you know.
Yeah. I played in my series. I've been in most of them. I want to say the companions, but the place in there where you have to become a werewolf or not, I don't like that. So I get stuck there.
Yeah.
I don't get to go any farther.
Now, the Dark Brotherhood has always been my favorite, always, because I've always just had like, you know, I always would love to investigate all the darker aspects of the games. Like I told you about whenever I played Civ 3, when I figured out that you know, nice peace-loving Gandhi could nuke people.
Yeah.
I was all over it. So the Dark Brotherhood was great for me, especially in Oblivion, being able to become the speaker. Oh, that was great.
Yeah. Well, I've been there and done that.
Great stuff. Let's see. Now, this person is applying. This person also applies Skyrim to the politics. What do you think about the Stormcloaks versus the Imperials and the religion between Talos and you know, the Thalmor?
They're always asking me that question. I have never played.
So you don't. That's right. You don't do the story, so you really can't make a definitive stance.
I have never played the Stormcloaks or the Imperials.
So
I have played that Dragonborn series where I was the Dragonborn and played it all the way to the end. But the political aspect, I don't care.
Right. She'll forever be a fence sitter. She doesn't care either way.
Right.
Just look out both sides and just smile.
I just ignore them all and go on and tell my story.
Right. Hi, Grandma. Greetings from Costa Rica. My question is, if you were to create a game, what would it be about? Or have somebody create a game for you, I should say.
It would be a mystery game that is really, really a mystery game. I want a good horror game so badly, but every game that I've looked at, and I've looked at all of them out there, it's walking down halls, walking through rooms, and you walk through so many and twist and turn that you know that no house is built like that. And there's always a telephone going off. There's always a teddy bear or a doll. There's always pictures hanging crooked. There's always trash all over the floor.
Yeah, it's all cliche horror stuff, you know?
Yeah, and it doesn't make me scared, and it's not horrifying, so I can't play it.
Have you ever,
but if I could make one, I would make one that out of things that can go through my head that's scary.
Have you ever read the book by Agatha Christie? I think is titled "And Then There Were None"?
I don't know. It's been so long since I've read any Agatha Christie.
Well, now that's like a horror mystery type of thing. Anyways, like all these people get brought into this house, and they don't know why they're there. The only person who was there before all of them was the butler. The butler never leaves from the main room, but somehow people one by one keep coming up missing.
Ew.
Yeah, and then it gets down to just one person and the butler, and then eventually it gets down to and then there were none.
And it was just the butler left.
The thing is, it doesn't make it clear if at the end of and then there were none, as if the butler was ever there to begin with, or a figment of imagination. Yeah, it's one of those stories that's just left open for you to determine. You know, I'm
going to get that and read it.
It is so good. Agatha Christie, and then there were none. I was made to read it in my mysteries view and read class, and I fell in love with it. I read it twice.
Huh. I'll get that and read it.
So yeah, it's very good. So there's this guy. I don't know if his name is am I going to say it right, but it's spelled and sounds just like Mercurio. Yeah, Mercurio Jose Osana. So that might be his regular name. Or I might just be a really big fan of Mercurio. I don't know. He's like, Grandma, are you interested in the upcoming Outer Worlds? Which is, the Outer Worlds is, if you know about Fallout and Fallout New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas was developed not by Bethesda, but by, people are gonna.
Well, if it's going to be like those games, then no, I'm not interested.
Right, because you're more into the fantasy stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on. If you could be any video game character in real life, who would it be?
Oh my goodness!
That's a good question.
In real life.
Right. Now, I wonder if that comes with all the powers and... We'll just say it does. Why not? Oh, goodness.
Well, I wouldn't want to be one of the witches up in the high top because they're boring. Right. They don't do anything. Let me see. I could be that. Oh my God, that's a hard question.
It is. It's a really hard question. Like, for example, if I had to choose any one video game character, any one that I could be in real life, assuming that character in real life looks real life, not a cartoon.
Yeah.
And keeps all the powers that comes with that person, I would probably have to. Oh man. Well, I was big into Dragon Ball Z when I was a little kid. So I would say Vegeta, a character from Dragon Ball Z.
Jesus.
Just because he was a hothead and he could, and he was royalty at that, and didn't care what anybody thought. I like him. So yes, that's my.
Well, see, I couldn't.
But I answered.
Good, because I couldn't. I don't know how I could pick a character from Skyrim that I would like to be in real life, because all the NPCs, I just use them in my stories.
Oh, and also, and then you gotta think, what if you're constricted to the same dialogue options they have?
Ew.
Oh no.
Boring.
You've like Inigo just sitting there. And more? What else? Oh goodness.
Well, at least Inigo would have more dialogue.
He does have a lot of good things to say at the right times too.
And he sings songs.
Right. I love it. I love Inigo. Oh goodness. Okay, and we got one final question here. It says, "Hi Shirley, I am curious to know what is the most challenging thing about being a YouTuber for me. For me, it's just the nagging urge of feeling I need to upload every day. That's just me."
Well, I don't have that nagging urge. So, what was the question?
What is the most challenging thing about
being? Having enough time to do what I want to do, because I would really like to do more videos so that I could upload every day or even twice a day, because then I could just be gaming. But I don't have that kind of time. So I guess that's what's the most challenging to me, is having time to do what I want to do on the videos.
Fair enough. Now, we're sorry if we didn't get to anybody else's questions. Most likely it's because they were, answered within the main interview. Everybody else here is, very supportive, showing much love. Thank you. Very looking forward to the podcast, which I appreciate very much. And so just so much wholesomeness and awesomeness. So we appreciate everybody who commented.
Yeah.
Really made our day for sure. Okay, well, we got just a few bonus questions. Just some nice little things. And before we leave off, we've been talking for a little over an hour now, or 2 hours, right? Yeah.
You're kidding.
Yeah. It's been quite a while. We started just before 3 o'clock, and it's 5:11.
Man, time flies when you're having fun.
That's right. But that's the whole point of this, is to have fun. And let's have just a little bit more fun before we end up out of here. Bonus questions. Let's see here. Why did you agree to be on the podcast, considering my small sub count compared to yours, and knowing you would be the first guest?
Well, for one thing, because I enjoy doing podcasts. And for the other thing, it doesn't matter to me what size somebody's channel is.
Yeah, you hear that? I hear that, all you other YouTubers? You need to take note. Oh, goodness.
I'd probably be on anybody's podcast unless I go to their channel and check them out and don't like what's on their channel.
I hope you didn't check my channel out.
I did.
Well, you're here, so I guess there's that. You just didn't scroll back far enough.
Maybe not.
Oh,
but you've been fun to talk to, so that's okay. That's all I care about.
Likewise, and I severely appreciate it. I was going to ask you about what do you think about the PewDiePie versus T-Series feud, but I had to explain that to you, so maybe in a future months to come, if you're ever back on the podcast, we'll ask you about it then.
I still won't know.
But it's okay. She doesn't know, and she has firmly sided with T-Series. So,
because I wouldn't with PewDiePie.
Take that for what it is. Oh, goodness. A
commenter asked me just not very long ago, we need you to collaborate with PewDiePie. And I thought, good Lord, in what way?
Well, no, PewDiePie, a lot of times he's people make him out to be what he's not, and sometimes he's just a young dumb kid, so he speaks a lot, and when you have that much, I can only imagine you're the biggest channel on YouTube, and you're a young kid who has the world at their feet, and everybody's waiting for you to say one word wrong, and there's 1,000 articles written about you. I can only imagine. It must be frustrating, really. And then there's a certain amount of those
Maybe
people,
so.
and there's certain lies that are told, and it mixed in with truths, and certain people just believe things wholeheartedly. Not everybody's going to go do their own research, and
Right.
it's like nobody ever really knows what to think about when somebody says something about somebody. That's why one of the reasons why I don't watch like actual news anymore.
I don't either.
It's just all jargon.
Every news station has their own spin,
Yes.
and they're always affiliated with one side or the other.
Right.
And so how could you believe anything they say?
Right.
And I don't watch it because at my age, the future isn't going to affect me at all. And what can I do about it? So why listen to all that crap?
Right. At that point, life's too short to really give a fuck. Just to be
Right.
Yeah, So I definitely agree. So I guess, what is your favorite video of your own? Do you have one that stands out above any other?
The last video of Catamount series.
I bet it does. I bet it does. That was.
And also, I like the intro video of my vampire series.
Okay, all right. I guess people are gonna have to check that out. And her last Catamount video was very emotional. Disclaimer.
Yes.
So be prepared to cry. All right. So we've done the fan questions. We've done our bonus questions. Now, being as this is my first podcast, and hopefully I'm going to have other guests to come, bigger or smaller, doesn't matter. The goal of this podcast is just connect with as many other gamers as possible, build up a community, have friends, and also give me an excuse to just upload other videos besides the game that, my game of the month. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, you should do more podcasts.
I'm definitely working on it for sure. Because I think these long-winded conversations are just better. You get to know people better. But I do want to start by asking, or finish off by asking 2 questions that is going to kind of be a tradition going forward.
Okay.
So the first question is, what we're going to ask every single person is, if you could have one superpower, any power you can think of, what is it and why?
Well, I have just recently fell in love with this staff of Storm. And you send that out there into the next room, and that sucker takes care of everything before you ever get there to fight.
Yeah, it's like a homing missile.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That is so fun to use. I would like that power. I'd like to have that staff with that power in it.
That'd be nice. Or even just be able to shoot it from your hands. That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care. Lug a staff around.
I like shooting fire from my hands.
Well, we all do. It's our favorite pastime. We all go down to the firebolt range and just shoot fireballs out of our hands. Well, at least in Skyrim we do. Okay, and the next question. Well, I guess I should say what my superpower would be.
Yeah.
Because I always struggle with this ever since I was a little kid. It's an ongoing question that plagues me. It does. I don't know if I would want to be able to fly, just fly, or be able to read people's minds. Because hear me out. Now, reading people's minds can go one of 2 ways, right? Flying is pretty simple. You fly, you can get to places, you get to see things, you can get away from trouble. There's a bunch of things you can do with just flying alone. But being able to read people's minds, imagine all of the disasters you might be able to prevent. Imagine all of the all the stuff you could foresee would happening. Let's say you was walking down the road and you seen a gunman going into a store and you read his mind. You could call the cops or stop it yourself or whatever. But then it's like, well, if you're reading everybody's mind, you're reading exactly what they're thinking about you in that moment too. So it's like, ew.
Well, see, I'm just the opposite of that. I think being able to read people's minds would be horrifying. Yeah. Because you're going to see a lot of rotten stuff in there.
Yep.
That you would never have thought about that person. So I wouldn't want to know all that.
I know. My whole thing is just thinking about all the good you might be able to do with knowing those bad things.
Yeah, but I think the other would offset that.
Yeah, yeah. And then like what personal emotional strife, you know? Oh goodness.
Yeah, flying would be really cool.
See, look, I've been debating this since I was a little kid, and you've convinced me flying is the way to go. Flying is the way to go, for sure. Because then at least, you know, if somebody's getting ready to do something bad, you can't read their mind, you can fly away.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was talking on here just the other day to some guy that skydives, and I said, I think that would be so cool. It must be a wonderful feeling if I could be guaranteed that my chute would open.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yes, I've said that a lot. Like, I love my life too much to mess with it.
Yeah.
You know? Like, even bungee jumping. It's like, well, it's only a 1 in 10,000th of a chance that the bungee cord will snap. And it's like, yeah, and what's the chances of me being that 1 in 10,000 when there's 300
That's right.
people in the world? Like,
That's right.
you know, I'm not, I wasn't very good at math, but I can understand probability.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
He said, well, in 1,000 jumps, it hadn't happened yet. So,
Yeah,
well, the odds are against you.
yeah, I know. 1,001's coming up, buddy.
Yeah.
I guess my other tradition question that I want to ask, and I'll ask every single person, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but I hope you do because it's a very intriguing question. What is your favorite conspiracy theory? Everybody's got one, whether it's 9/11 or JFK or Hitler did nothing wrong, you know, some off the wall conspiracy theory. What is your favorite?
Yeah, and most of them are also stupid.
They are like the aliens abducting people and the Holocaust denial and all that kind of stupid stuff.
Yeah, but remember,
credence, you know.
Remember when it all started about a spaceship had landed in where was it? New Mexico or
You talking about
somewhere
Roswell?
like that? Right? Yeah. That one's the most intriguing to me because what if they really did haul something away and have it?
Well, and
secret market.
And they had like photographs of the wreckage. It was like real wreckage, and then
Of something.
right. And then a week later, the military made the newspaper in that town reprint it as to it was just a weather balloon. Well, if it was just a weather balloon, there's a lot
Everything's
more, you know.
Everything's blamed on weather balloons.
Right. It's like
Anyway, I think that was the most intriguing one I've ever heard about.
yeah, and especially because it doesn't even necessarily have to be aliens. It could have just been like, you know, a Russian spy plane that they shot down was just trying to cover.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
just the fact that they don't, you know, how easy would it have been though too to just be like, oh, it was a Russian plane that shot down, and we're going to take a look at it. You know what I mean? Like I'd be like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been simple.
All right, go government, you know. It's like, yeah, it's a weather balloon. Like, all right, something's fishy here, you know. Yeah. Also, one of my favorite conspiracy theories is in Los Angeles. I think it was in 1930 something or 20. In Los Angeles, there was hundreds of lights and a pattern that were hovering above Los Angeles. Every single person, some people still alive today, who still, you know, give eyewitness accounts. Everybody giving the exact same eyewitness accounts.
Yeah.
Of them seeing lights in the night sky, and the military base stationed there was shooting at it. Was literally shooting at it. And
I remember hearing about that.
the very next day, they try to act like it never happened, and it was all just in the mind of thousands of people see the same thing. It's like, come on.
Mass hallucination.
Right.
I never could understand that.
Right, like, come on. Gee whiz. Like you're telling me.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, I know. It's just some conspiracy theories. I hate that the ones that are so stupid that take away from ones that could potentially have something to it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, just like with the JFK thing, where it's like, oh, sure, we could see that Lee Harvey Oswald shot JFK, but the fact that the bullet that they retrieved didn't have a single piece of damage on it, and it went through 3 people in a car. Is, you know, you can look at ballistic records and see a very strong bullet just hit bone and, you know, disintegrate into one little piece. So there's like, you know, there's a lot of little things that tend to be overshadowed by you know,
the stupid things.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the end of the podcast. I do want to get your take on... So you have looked at my channel, right?
Yes.
So you know that I'm into Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
What do you think about
I didn't see much. I didn't see very many videos that were gaming videos that I would watch. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm talking about Cyberpunk in and of itself. It's an open world game that's futuristic. You think that might ever be on your radar?
No.
No? Oh, goodness.
No.
Well, I had to ask you. That's just my flavor of the month right now. So.
I just don't like those kind of games.
Well, that's fine.
And games that are just shooter games, that's all you do. I don't like those.
Here's one I think that you might like. What is your favorite out of the three? The 70s, 80s, or the 90s?
Oh my God.
I can only really pick one because I've only lived through one full decade, so.
I'd have to say the 90s because I was grown, my kids was grown, I just starting into the computer. Oh, yeah. In the 70s, I didn't know diddly squat. And in the 80s, I partied too much.
Yeah.
So maybe by the 90s, I had grown up, maybe.
Yeah, well, and, you know, we had the internet happening, and like it was just such a great and awesome time.
Yeah,
it really was. Well, then you had Clinton and Monica Lewinsky, and that was entertaining. You know?
You had what?
You had Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. That was so entertaining.
Oh,
there was so much the 90s had to give us, you know. All the new music that was coming out. There was so much with the 90s.
Now, you know, I like lots of music from all eras, really. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, like...
I don't know if I could pick which would be my favorite from music.
I can, 100%. Without a shadow of a doubt, Dean Martin is my favorite of all time.
You're kidding.
Dean Martin is my favorite. You know, I like Sammy Davis Jr. and I like Frank Sinatra, but Dean Martin was always my favorite. I think he had the best voice. I loved his whole routine when he'd get on stage and act drunk, you know, and that
was funny.
I just loved it. I loved it so much. I loved what was it? Martin and Martin and Lewis. I used to love when I was a little kid. My grandma would have me watch that. And I would just be enthralled with you know just with how funny it was, and
yeah,
and when you don't have standards like because a lot of media nowadays are so highly edited and very visual, you know. Back then there was a couple guys on stage with a microphone having fun. That's all.
Well, what they call comedy nowadays isn't comedy like it was then either. Right. It's more stupid stuff. Mm-hmm. Just like family shows, the husband and wife and their kids, and people don't talk like they talk. Everybody has a comeback for something everybody says. And the wife's always the smart one. Husband's always the stupid one. And the kids always treat their father like they're idiots because that's what their mom says. Yep. And I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah, that's it's definitely a double standard sometimes in society, for sure. That's neither here nor there.
I went and revisited a school I went to in grade school, and we used to be able to walk a block down to the other corner at recess time and get a candy bar or something. It's a little market that had warped wooden floors in it and pickle barrels, and I went and revisited. The place is a crack house.
Oh my God. You didn't walk up to the door, did you?
No, but the two guys was standing out there, and my daughter, I was trying to look in the window, which they had blacked out. And this guy said something to me. He said, "Would you like to go around?" I said, "No." And I told him what it used to be, and that I was just looking around my old neighborhood. And he thought that was interesting. He was really nice, actually.
Oh goodness. Yeah. Well, you know, a lot of people make bad decisions. You're still good people. That's so awesome. It's like I could imagine just like a bunch of people coming out like, you're not our regular clientele.
Yeah, that's why he asked me what I was doing.
Oh goodness, awkward. Well, technically, this is the end of the podcast. We're technically into the after show, just me and you talking.
Okay.
So, I do want to formally thank you for coming on.
Well, you're welcome.
It means the world to me. I hope to be able to have you on. Hopefully I get a couple different guests. But eventually I want to have you on back again, and I hope that we foster a friendship that will last for years to come.
Well, thank you. Me too.
And I do thoroughly appreciate all of your content, and I do think that there are so many more people out there than what you think who truly appreciate your content, who just watch but don't comment. So I like to speak for them as well.
Thank you.
Well,
play a different kind of game on your channel so I can come watch it.
I sure will. Maybe I'll do an immersion playthrough of Red Dead Redemption like you do.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that. So yeah, thanks for coming by. I do appreciate it. And this is going to be the official end of the podcast. We'll close it out there. We can talk for a little while if you want to.
Well,
I
thank you, Sean, for having me on here.
Hey, it's no big deal. I mean, I didn't believe that. Literally, when we was in Discord, I posted the story you made, the bedtime story, and I told my subs about it, and I was like, I've been a fan of this lady for a long time, and I said, this video is legit one of the best videos I've ever seen, and it's so simple, and it's not edited, and it's just so wholesome, and everybody there was all on board. They loved it too, and all of them went and subscribed to your channel, and it was a very good time. They're like, why don't you reach out to her and see if she can do a collab? I'm like, hey, she got a lot of grandkids, you know what I mean? Like, she got a lot of grandkids to worry about. And they're like, well, just do it. So I was like, okay, and then it happened. So hey, here we go.
Well, I appreciate it. I like to do podcasts.
Mine is good just to hang out and chat, and anytime you're ever in Discord, you can hop in and hang out with us anytime.
Okay.
And of course, there are a bunch of edgy, blowhard kids, so you'll have to ignore them a lot of times. But
yeah, I've noticed that.
Oh goodness! But they're just, kids will be kids. What can you do? I love them. They like my videos, so what can I say?
Well, that's what you want.
That's right. I'm biased. I'm biased to my own.
Yeah.
Well, if there's any questions that you had for me or anything you'd like to say, ask, contribute.
No, just play a different game on your channel, and I'll come and watch it.
Yes, ma'am. You got it.
I'll listen to how you do your commentary.
Yes. Because
you're so easy on here.
Now, I'm not sure that I can't promise it'll be 100% not edited. There's a certain level. There's a certain level of production quality that I like to keep up, or I don't feel like I'm doing a good job. But that's just me. Personal stuff on my shoulders. But I will try to keep it as wholesome as I possibly can.
Oh, good. And see how many comments you get to that.
I will, for sure. I'm actually kind of excited to do that. So I do appreciate it, and I guess we can go ahead and end the podcast now.
Okay.
Hop off here. I know you got stuff to do. It's almost 6 o'clock.
I gotta go cook me some supper.
Right. So it's been fun talking to you. I do appreciate it.
You too. Thank you.